Before you scroll, before another video steals your attention, pause for just a moment. What you're about to hear is not just a performance, not just a talent show story, it's a reminder that dreams don't expire, and that sometimes the most powerful voices come from the most unexpected places. If this story moves you even a little, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because stories like this deserve to be shared, and your support helps us bring more inspiration to people around the world. The theater lights dimmed, and a low murmur rolled through the America's Got Talent audience. Another audition, another hopeful dreamer, at least that's what most people thought. Then he walked out. A middle-aged Filipino man with neatly combed jet black hair, thick sideburns shaped with care, and a slightly worn white jumpsuit inspired by Elvis Presley's iconic Las Vegas era. The rhinestones weren't flashy, and the outfit didn't look expensive, but he wore it with pride, like armor. Some people smiled politely. Others exchanged skeptical glances. An Elvis impersonator? On this stage? In a competition known for jaw-dropping surprises? He stood there, hands trembling slightly, eyes scanning the massive room. For a brief second, he looked small under the towering lights. When asked his name and where he was from, his accent carried the warmth of the Philippines. He spoke softly but clearly, explaining that he worked overseas for many years, singing in small bars, on cruise ships, and at weddings, anywhere someone would listen. Music, he said, was how he survived being far from home. It was how he stayed connected to who he truly was. One of the judges raised an eyebrow and asked the question everyone was thinking, why Elvis? The man smiled, a gentle, almost shy smile, and said Elvis found him when he was a boy. His father used to play old cassette tapes late at night after long days of work. Their house was small, money was always tight, but when Elvis sang, the walls seemed to disappear. That voice gave him hope. That voice made him believe that even someone from a poor neighborhood could dream big. He paused, swallowing hard, and admitted that many people told him to stop chasing this dream. They said he was too old. That the world had moved on. That impersonators were everywhere, and none of them truly mattered. But he never stopped believing that if he could just sing once on a stage like this, not to be famous, but to be heard, his life would finally feel complete. The judges nodded, some still unsure, and gave him the signal to begin. The first notes drifted out softly, almost fragile. A familiar Elvis ballad filled the room, but there was something different about it. His voice wasn't an imitation, it was a conversation. Every word carried years of longing, of loneliness, of sacrifice. As he sang, the nervous tremble faded. His shoulders relaxed. His eyes closed. It was as if the theater disappeared, replaced by every stage he'd ever stood on alone, singing for strangers who barely looked up. The audience grew quiet. You could feel the shift in the air. This wasn't a novelty act. This was a man pouring his entire life into 3 minutes of music. Halfway through the song, his voice swelled with unexpected power. It wasn't perfect in a technical sense, but it was honest, raw, and deeply human. Some audience members leaned forward, eyes wide. Others covered their mouths. One of the judges slowly sat back, clearly moved, while another blinked rapidly, fighting back tears. As the final note rang out, he held it just long enough to let it break your heart, and then he let it go. Silence. For one long, breathless moment, no one moved. Then the room exploded. The audience rose to their feet, applause crashing like a wave. Cheers echoed from every corner. The man opened his eyes, stunned, as if he couldn't quite believe what was happening. His hands flew to his face. Tears spilled freely now, no longer held back. The judges spoke one by one, admitting they hadn't expected this. They talked about courage, about soul, about how he didn't just sing Elvis, he honored him. One judge said it felt like watching someone reclaim a dream they'd been carrying for decades. Another said this performance was proof that passion doesn't fade with age, it deepens. Then came the moment no one saw coming. One judge stood up, hand hovering over the golden buzzer. They spoke directly to him, saying that people like him remind the world why this stage exists. Not for perfection. Not for trends. But for truth. The buzzer was pressed. Gold rained down from the ceiling, shimmering under the lights like a miracle. The man fell to his knees, sobbing openly now, overwhelmed by a lifetime of struggle finally met with recognition. The audience screamed. Confetti stuck to his hair and jumpsuit as he looked up, laughing and crying at the same time, whispering thank you over and over again. Backstage later, in a quieter moment, he spoke about his family watching from thousands of miles away. About his parents, who had passed on before ever seeing him on a stage like this. About all the nights he sang to empty rooms, wondering if he was foolish to keep going. And now, here he was, proof that persistence matters. As the show moved forward, his audition spread across the internet. People shared it not because he sounded like Elvis, but because he sounded like hope. Comments poured in from viewers who felt seen, who felt encouraged to keep going, who realized it might not be too late for their own dreams. And that's the real magic of this story. It's not about a golden buzzer. It's not even about Elvis. It's about a man who refused to let life silence him. A man who carried music across oceans, through loneliness and doubt, until the right moment arrived. So if you're watching this and feeling like your dream is too small, too late, or too far out of reach, remember him. Remember that stage. Remember that voice. And if this story touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps these stories travel further, reaching people who need them most. Because sometimes, all it takes is one song, one chance, and one brave step forward to change everything. And just like that Filipino Elvis under the golden rain, your moment might be closer than you think.